Did that. All right, we'll bring Linnea out now. And so, and Darren is also going to be here moderating. So, and I'm going to come out in the crowd with the wireless mic, so if anyone wants questions answered, try and get my attention, and we're going to try and get as many questions in as we can, but we are also going to try and get to the trivia here at 9 o'clock too, so we'll just see how many we can get in. Hopefully we can get everyone's in. And also, we are doing another Q&A for Return of the Living Dead tomorrow, so I guess save any Return of the Living Dead questions for then, hopefully. Otherwise, feel free to ask her anything about this movie or her career or whatever you may desire. So, Means is going to take over, and I'm going to come out to the crowd, and if you have questions, get my attention.
All right, guys, thanks for coming out. Once again, let's give a warm welcome to Linnea. All right, Linnea, I'm going to start us off with a couple of basic questions before we get going. You filmed this movie in, you said, 1986, 85 area?
I think it was 86 that I filmed it. It could have been 85, but, you know.
And it was directed by Kevin Tenney? We'll get this right off the bat because I know somebody's going to ask this question. He's been asked about the infamous lipstick scene, so we'll let you take that over and tell us a little bit about that scene and how they did the special effects for that.
Okay. What they did was I went in to see the special effects guy because I loved that bit. I had no idea how they were going to do it, but they had me put like it's like, oh, what is it, like plaster of Paris type thing, kind of thing, that on my breast. And then they molded it on and everything, and then they let it dry, and then they pulled it off. And I remember really liking the makeup artist. I thought he was so cute. And they were like, I can't believe we touched your breast. I found that out afterward. They were like, I couldn't believe she didn't, wasn't embarrassed. And I was embarrassed. I was really embarrassed. And you find out what people say behind the scenes. It's pretty interesting. But I later married him. But getting back to the... I did! But I'm doing it, and I'm also doing a documentary about his life, so I can really get him now. And so what they did when we got on set, they had the mold, which they did in gelatin, which moves like breasts. So they strapped mine down, put on the mold of my breasts, painted them. All I'm like, this guy's in my face that close. I'm like, oh my God, you know. And he cut a hole in the nipple so that I would have to do the thing and push it in. A little graphic.
All right, so that movie, you have a pretty interesting scene at the very beginning where you're trying to distract some people in the store, and we all can appreciate that. But have you ever done anything like that before? Had to distract anybody to get what you want?
Yes, I did. In a PETA protest with just people for the ethical treatment of animals, they needed a diversion. It was a diversion, but it was, getting their attention away from what was going on. I pretended to trip out of the audience and hurt myself really bad so that the attention was all on me and they could get somebody to the podium to speak out about animal rights.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Because I'm having trouble seeing Trent. Do you have a question?
Someone have a question? Oh, there you go, right there. Okay. Here you go.
So, besides the makeup artist, of course, who was your favorite person to work with?
You mean in the movie?
Yes.
Oh boy, that's a hard question. I liked Hal a lot, who played Stooge. I really liked him. He's like still like one of my favorites. He's the nicest guy, and he's very funny, but a real caring, nice person.
Thank you.
That's a good question. I've never been asked.
Another one?
Throw your hand up high if you do. So, okay, I see someone.
I was just curious, how many takes did you guys have to do from laughing at all the lines?
Oh my God, a lot. They were trying to get everything done, you know, in one take, but that wasn't possible because the lines were so ridiculous and so funny. And it's like my ex-husband Steve, who was the makeup effects guy, was like, oh my gosh, she's such a bad actor, but there was no other way to say those lines. It was like, I just went from the script, you know, like, far fucking out, you know, and, you know, I just like exaggerated them, but we all laughed at what we were really saying.
Another one?
I'm coming.
Get your steps in.
I was just going to ask, playing off the first question, who is the most insufferable person on set?
That's a really good question. Well, the most insufferable person would probably be the guy that did my last makeup, because he took 11 hours to do it. We started, I think I told you, it was like at 11 or 12 in the afternoon one day, and finished where we're in the very last scene going after them. We had to have the makeup on, and we finished it like sunup. So we were in that makeup for so many hours, and if I hear the joke, you look like my ex-wife, or you need to go see a dermatologist about that, I was going to like kill someone.
What about actor?
Oh, actor. Okay, let's see. Everybody was really nice. I'm trying to think.
It's a very diplomatic.
It's a diplomatic answer. I don't want to get in trouble with anybody because this is going straight to somewhere. Somewhere we'll end up in my new documentary. No, everybody was really nice, and it was like a group effort. So on this one, nobody was intolerable.
So how much of the seductive chaos of your character was scripted versus your own just creative instinct?
Could you say that again?
Yeah, so how much of the seductive chaos that your character Suzanne brought, how much was scripted versus your just creative instinct in building the character?
Oh my God. I think she was just a full-on slut, you know? She was like kissing everybody, girls, guys. She was like lifting up her dress and putting lipstick in her breast, and that could be a song, like Metallica could sing it.
I'm curious, in your career in general, what was the most important part about deciding to play a character for you?
Repeat that again.
In general, in your career, what was the most important thing to you about choosing to play a character?
Oh, what's important to me is if the dialogue kind of like drives it, and I can feel the dialogue in my head and stuff like that. That's the main thing. And if the character's interesting, like in this one, she did some crazy stuff, and I liked that because you remember it. So I think when there's interesting things that are going on with the character that she's doing or whatever, I think that's what really attracts me to it.
Right up front here.
So what was the most fun fun scene for you to act out in this movie?
Oh, it was definitely the lipstick. I loved doing that. I loved that, and I liked gouging out the guy's eyes that I was with. I mean, and then when I do that thing where I look back and I come back and I'm like, stop looking at me. You know, that was fun. Both of those were really fun because it was like a jump scare for people or a shock.
If you were to do this movie again, is there a different character you would want to try?
Oh yeah, I would like to be the Angela character. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I wanted to have that black dress on. I hated my pink. I'm like, oh, this is like so weird, and you know, I can't walk in heels, but somehow I miraculously walked in them because they were like that high.
Brings up the question, leading into this, do you ever keep stuff from your, like, a lot of people didn't back then sometimes because they didn't know it would be worth anything, but did you keep anything from that set, or the outfit, or the teeth, or anything?
They promised us we could have our outfits. They said, yeah, you can have your outfits after we're done filming and doing reshoots and things like that. And we never got them, and we don't know where they are. And I think they're in a store. You have it? Are you wearing my dress now? Okay. I don't know where they are. They're probably in storage somewhere, and they're waiting to sell them off to the highest bidder.
Question?
Questions, anybody?
This movie was made on a decently low budget, but it made a pretty good return. Did you see some, like this is earlier in your career, right? Did you see some, do you get any kind of royalties after that, or you just get paid once, or how did that work?
Well, I got paid the one time, and it was a Screen Actors Guild movie, so I get residuals, but residuals go down as many years go by, so I see like $4 every few months or something, maybe. Sometimes $2.
Trent, where you at?
I'm over here. I don't see any hands. Anybody?
Well, any
Linnea
other
Quigley.
questions before we're done?
Okay. Shy crowd. No,
Right there.
you can have that.
What made you like want to do this type of movie, like the kind of comedy horror?
Well, in horror, there's a lot of comedy. It's like when you see people get scared, they act like all crazy and everything, and that's comical. But, you know, nobody just goes, oh, I'm gonna take on the demon and, you know, so I like that because there's a truth in it. There's, you know, the comedy portion of being scared, where you look absolutely insane. So I like to break up horror with comedy.
Good questions.
All right, if we have no further questions, we're going to wrap that up and then move on to our next thing.
Oh, where are you at? Okay, I see.
I was wondering if you have like any tips for people who might want to get into acting, like just acting of like any form.
Oh, do as much extra work as you can, you know, so that you get used to the set jargon and, you know, how actors work. Take an acting class, which is really important, and just don't give up. You know, get good headshots, and, you know, try to, you know, work with actors a lot and help out any way you can. You know, I've done jobs like lots of extra work, craft service, wardrobe, believe it or not, once, and just various jobs. You learn a lot and you meet a lot of people. in the same, industry as you want to be in.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's give it up once again for Linnea Quigley.